It's a wet Wednesday morning as you're heading out the door. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mackenzie Lake here with a look at our full Wednesday forecast. First things first, I want to talk about rainfall totals. We got very impressive numbers up in San Luis Obispo County. Over the last 24 hours, the National Weather Service reported over 2.5 inches of rainfall. We had some heavier showers embedded within these light, widespread rainfall rates here. And take a look, the rest of the region panning out really well. So forecasts look to be pretty good. We got close to that 1.5 inches in Cambria. We knew that our northern communities would see the most amount of rainfall. Southern communities would see the least. We just got over a 1/2 inch here in Ventura County, 1/2 inch there in Santa Maria, and pretty close to that 3/4 inch mark in Santa Barbara. So we're holding on to some rainfall for the first half of the morning here, but we're on the tail end of this system and these showers are starting to die off and they're dying quickly. So by the middle of the day, expect to see some dry conditions. We'll dry out completely by the evening and overnight hours, and then our next set of showers working through. So here's a look at satellite and radar. You can see how that cold front has finally passed through the Central Coast. It's now moving through LA and down to San Diego. That's why we're going to see some slight lingering showers in the wake of that front, but no major impacts, only adding very minimal amounts of rain. And then you can see here this very big potent system out to the west of us. Well, that's atmospheric river number 2. We're going to be on the leading edge of this system, so by no means will it be an atmospheric river by the time it makes it to the Central Coast, but it's still going to be adding to those really impressive totals. So let's take a look at future track radar. First, we're mapping out our Wednesday here. As I mentioned, 8 o'clock in the morning, we might still be running into some light, widespread showers here, but our next pulse of rainfall does not arrive until about Thursday. Middle of the day, I would say a majority of the Central Coast seeing rainfall, at least by about 2 or 3 p.m. But take a look here. You can see we have that southerly flow setting back up again. Rainfall amounts with this next system look to be a little bit lighter. So it's a similar pattern. We'll likely see the most amount of rainfall in San Luis Obispo, most northern communities, even Santa Maria. We'll definitely see some good amounts of rainfall here in Santa Barbara as well. But these showers are very fast moving, so I think we're only going to add about a 1/2 inch of rainfall up in San Luis Obispo, maybe 3/4 inch, and then here in Santa Barbara, close to 1/4 inch, maybe in between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. By the time we make it into Friday, you can see that those northwesterly winds have returned, so that's going to cut off any moisture transport here. That's going to be drying us out nicely into our Friday and then into our Super Bowl weekend. We're going to have beautiful clear skies, staying nice and dry for a little bit before our next round of showers arrive into the middle of the week, into the middle of the month of February. Here's a look at winds. So winds were another thing we were mapping out with this system. They have calmed down significantly, still streaming out from the south here, heading further up to the north. But we're going to take a look as we head into our next storm system here, because it's pretty much copy and paste. Again, that tail end of an atmospheric river, those winds begin to crank up right in front of that wet weather here. So 8 o'clock in the morning, a little bit blustery. We're going to see pretty similar wind speeds and wind speed numbers here as we head closer into that Thursday evening. It's going to be close to around 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained. Those gusts upwards of 30 to 40 miles an hour. So most likely more wind advisories, high wind warnings going into effect for San Luis Obispo County and our northern communities heading into our Thursday night and into Friday morning. But here's a look at our forecast for temperatures. You can see each microclimate. It's going to be a pretty mild afternoon. These systems by no means are on the cool side. So as far as temperatures today, we're just into the 60s, pretty typical for this time in February. Overnight lows, no big problems here, no frost warnings, freeze advisories. We're dropping down into the 20s or into the 40s and 50s here. And then as far as what we're tracking into the next few days, you'll want to keep that umbrella out. We have a pretty active month of February here, and the storm door really just on the open side. Have a good one.